We are in the village of Sallins, County Kildare, and it's from here that generations of Irish Republicans have gathered before parading to the grave of Theobald Wolfe Tone nearby in Bodenstown. This place has seen the beginning of a political pilgrimage year after year through many generations of Republicans in good times and bad for the Republican struggle. Along this road to Bodenstown, Republican leaders of every phase of struggle have walked, from Thomas Davis to Maud Gonne, James Connolly, P.H. Pearse, Tom Clark, Countess Markievicz, Liam Mellows, and up to our own time, people like Joe Cahill, Maura Drum, but more importantly perhaps the Republican people, the rank and file from all over Ireland, from every corner of this country, the hidden Ireland, who gathered once a year, perhaps the only opportunity of the year that they had to meet, and they did so here by Wolfe Tone's grave. Following his death in British custody in the Provost Prison, Arbour Hill, Dublin, on the 19th of November 1798, Theobald Wolfe Tone, Irish revolutionary leader, was buried here in the family grave in Bodenstown churchyard. Co-founder of the United Irish Society, he laid the foundations of Irish republicanism, secured 3 military expeditions from the French Republic to Ireland for the liberation of this country, and he was captured on the last of those expeditions. His grave here in Bodenstown became a place of political pilgrimage for generations of Irish Republicans. For most of the past 200 years, they have gathered here on the nearest Sunday to the 20th of June, Wolfe Tone's birthday. Young Irelander Thomas Davis was the prime mover at the request of Wolfe Tone's widow Matilda in having the original monument erected over the grave in Bodenstown, and that was in 1844. Davis wrote the ballad Tone's Grave, which concludes, "In Bodenstown churchyard there is a green grave, and wildly along it let winter winds rave. For better they suit him, the ruin and gloom, till Ireland a nation can build him a tomb." Large crowds gathered at Tone's grave in 1898 for the centenary of the 1798 Rising. James Connolly organised the 98 Rank and File Committee and spoke at the grave. By 1905, the year Sinn Féin was founded, the tide had ebbed again. The Royal Irish Constabulary reported only 80 people at Bodenstown that year, showing, as their report says with wishful thinking, the failure of treasonable or revolutionary demonstrations in Ireland at the present day. In 1913, the Irish Republican Brotherhood chose P.H. Pearse to deliver the Bodenstown oration. It marked Pearse's emergence as a Republican leader. The commemoration was attended by 5,000 people and was chaired by veteran Fenian Tom Clark, who had spent many years in English prisons. Less than 3 years later, Pearse and Clark would be executed on the same day in Kilmainham jail for their part in leading the Easter Rising. Pearse said at Tone's grave, "Thinker and doer, dreamer of the immortal dream and doer of the immortal deed, we owe to this dead man more than we can ever repay him by making pilgrimage to his grave or rearing to him the stateliest monument in the streets of his city. To his teaching we owe it that there is such a thing as Irish nationalism." This 1913 commemoration was actually filmed by a cinematographer, a very early Irish moving picture, and Tom Clark arranged for the film to be shown to great acclaim in the Rotunda and Rathmines in Dublin. 200 Irish Citizen Army members, led by Jim Larkin and James Connolly, formed a joint guard of honour, and around Tone's grave with the Irish Volunteers they stood in June 1914. In 1921, to beat the British ban on public gatherings and to keep the Bodenstown tradition alive, a group of Republican women of Commemoration travelled by car from Dublin here to Bodenstown to lay a wreath on Tone's grave. On the 20th of June 1922, the anti-treaty IRA executive occupying the forecourts came here and paraded at Wolfe Tone's grave, and the oration was delivered by Liam Mellows, a member of the IRA executive. There was what Todd Andrews described as an atmosphere of approaching doom at the graveside. Mellows made clear the IRA's commitment to the Republic when he said, "It cannot be made too clear that our enemy is England. Let it not be thought that we are out to fight any other enemy, for we are not. If it comes to a fight with England, then we will show whatever might happen, we will defend the Irish Republic." This was Liam Mellows' last public speech. 6 days later, using British guns, the Free State government opened fire on the forecourts and thus commenced the Civil War. In 1931, the Free State government of W.T. Cosgrave, using new coercive legislation, banned the Bodenstown Commemoration, but again the ban was successfully defied by 10,000 Republicans who paraded to Tone's grave. In 1934, a contingent from the Shankill Road in Belfast assembled to march, and there followed a sad and avoidable incident which has gone down in history. A section of the IRA leadership had split away to form Republican Congress, and their banners were not permitted by the organisers of the parade that year. Because the Shankill Road contingent was affiliated to Republican Congress, they were ordered off the parade, and an attempt was made to seize their banner. In recent years, Belfast Republicans, in tribute to those Shankill Republicans of 1934, carried a replica of their banner here in Bodenstown because they were denied their right to march. In 1936, Fianna Fáil, who had actually marched with the IRA at Bodenstown in previous years, were now in government, and they in turn banned the commemoration like their predecessor Cosgrave. Once more, Commemoration travelled to break the cordon and to hold a ceremony. The 1940s saw Republicans interned and imprisoned, with deaths on hunger strike and by execution in prisons in Ireland and England. But a revival was signalled again in 1948 when the oration at Bodenstown was delivered by Tomás Óg McCurtain, son of Sinn Féin Ard Mhéara of Cork, murdered by the RIC in 1920, Tomás McCurtain. Tomás Óg had been sentenced to death by a Free State military court and reprieved at the last minute. In 1963, the bicentenary of Tone's birth was celebrated, and it was marked by the establishment of the Wolfe Tone societies, and these were one of the elements out of which emerged the civil rights movement in the 6 counties. In a publication called Wolfe Tone Today, Protestant Republican and journalist Jack Bennett wrote, "The solution to all of Ireland's exceptional political and economic problems, the solution to mass unemployment and emigration, the solution to sectarianism in the north, all this requires the raising again of Tone's grand concept, a brotherhood of Irishmen to claim our country." Following the split in the Republican movement of December 1969 and January 1970, the first Bodenstown commemoration of the reorganised movement under the Provisional Army Council of the IRA was held on the 14th of June 1970. The main speaker was Daithí O'Connell, who addressed the British government. "You stand indicted before the world for the wrongs you have done to Ireland. You never had any right to be in our country, and you never will. You sent your troops to keep what you call peace. You forget that peace must be based on justice. It cannot be founded on British bayonets. In a nutshell, get to hell out of our country. You never brought us anything but strife and war. At the height of the tragic 1981 hunger strike, Bodenstown saw dramatic scenes. 11 days earlier, 8 IRA prisoners had made an armed escape from Crumlin Mode courthouse, and one of them, Paul McGee, appeared on the platform at Bodenstown. Like many other Republican prisoners in the following years, he had to battle attempts to extradite him back across the border to face British courts. In 1983, Gerry Adams, newly elected Sinn Féin MP for West Belfast and soon to be president of Sinn Féin, delivered the Bodenstown oration. And he said, "Wolfe Tone, if he were alive today, would be vilified, as he was in his own time, as an upstart, a subversive, and a 1798 equivalent of a gunman. He would, even if he were alive today, be banned from RTE. But he would also, and this is his message to us, be formulating policies, strategies and revolutionary tactics to combat the national, social and economic evils which beset our people." And since then, as in all decades since Tone's death, each year Bodenstown has seen milestones on the long journey to the Republic, Tone's Republic. The journey goes on, the destination ever nearer.